Hello, and welcome to another broadcast with Gian. Watching this program, you are going to be inspired, challenged, and enlightened. Now, let me introduce to you our host, Gian.
Hello, dear friend. Welcome to another series. This time I'm starting the series Parenting. I'm going to give you 3 lessons about parenting, the right way to parenting your little ones. Starting today, Tuesday, and then on Thursday I will give you the lesson number 2, and then Saturday the lesson number 3. I think it's important that young parents like you think about the necessary foundation that you need to give to your child. So I'm going to start with the first lesson today. Fearing authority. Exactly. You know, the Bible says that the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. The beginning of wisdom, the fear of the Lord. And that is something that you can do when you are raising your kids very easily because they are little. You know, try to teach this principle to adults is difficult. Why? Because when an adult is already messed up and you try to explain to an adult that fearing God is the beginning of a new life, they don't really get it quickly, and it takes a long time for many of them. And the main reason why they have trouble with is because in order to fear God, you have to understand the concept of authority in your life. So that is why you, mom and dad, raising little ones, raising kids that are still teenagers, you still can do something by installing in their hearts fear and respect for authority. The problem is that in these days, so many parents want to play cool dad or cool mom, like a friend type. That doesn't work. It's going to be a disaster sooner or later. If you want to go in that path, you will regret it, because you are failing in your most important role, which is creating in the mind of a child the idea of authority upon their lives. A child needs to understand that there are individuals in their home, and then later in the child care place, or later with families, or later in the school, and eventually in the workplace, where there are authorities. In fact, you know very well that even in the market, when you go to a store, someone is the manager in that place, and that person represents authority. In the traffic, everywhere, there is authority. Individuals that get into trouble all the time are those that do not respect authority. So, young mom, young dad, would you like to have a child that is disrespectful in the school, disrespectful eventually in the workplace, getting fired time after time for the same reason, which is they are not able to respect authority and follow procedure? You don't want that. I know you don't. So how can you teach that in your home? Well, there are some things that I want to share with you about it. The first thing is, remember, it's just one idea that you have to be consistent in working with. So you have to put that idea first in your mind. You are authority upon that kid. You have to talk to this kid like an authority figure, because you are the authority. In fact, you are responsible in the eyes of the law for that child. So you install rules, regulations, procedures in your home, and you make sure this child obeys those rules. The sooner that you begin this process, the easier it will be for you at the end. But if you wait, let's say, to start trying to implement rules and procedures when the child is 10 years old, it's going to be more difficult. If you try to do it when he is 14 years old, probably it's a little bit late. There is still hope, but as a dad, as a mom, you need to start by implementing strict rules with your child and letting this child know who is the mama, who is the dad in the house. So this child needs to respect you and to a certain degree fear you. You know, the child is going to be a rebel by nature. Is what we are somehow. Others more than others, definitely. Some kids are more defiant than others. Others are more obedient by nature. Regardless, your job is to give clear instructions, repeat the instruction, and say that thing over and over and over and over and over again until finally you see the child doing it. Your job, training your child in life, it's a very important job. Because now you are young, you are probably in your 20s, 30s, some in their 40s. Well, imagine you are now in your 70s. If you do not raise your child the right way, in your 70s, that child will be sleeping in your living room, in the couch, with no income, with a lot of children everywhere, no career, giving you trouble. You're in your 70s, more likely you will feel tired, old. You are thinking, what did I do with this guy, with this girl? Well, on the other hand, if you teach your child to respect authority, you to respect you, mom, dad, in your 70s, that kid is going to have his own place. And it's not about how rich this kid will be. It's about how responsible this kid is going to be. A responsible adult. My final comment about this issue is that everything begins with you, mom. Everything begins with you, dad. If deep down in your heart you don't fear God, you don't respect authority, how could you expect that your child will do it? After all, it's a law. You harvest what you sow. So everything begins with you. You need to fear the Lord. You need to be compliant, respect authority, honor your own parents, honor your supervisors in the workplace, and learn how to get along with everybody, fulfilling compliant with the law, the traffic laws, etc. in the workplace. Because it doesn't matter how much you repeat the same teaching to your child. It's all done by your example. So work on that. That is my lesson number 1. I hope to see you here on Thursday. Good night.
By Gian Vicitoro.
I know you have suffered, but what if you would have never met your mom because she died giving birth to you? That's the beginning of Simon's story. Then Simon's father died when he was only 15 years old. He was sent to a foster home where he was bullied, humiliated, and there was no one to protect him. But Simon decided to find a way to get his revenge by studying and becoming good at sports. He won a scholarship, and soon he started his own business, Simon's Yardwork. Mean people were envious of his success, but one day, Simon met and fell in love with Jackie. They were happy until the FBI arrested Simon due to clues that incriminated him with several murdered people. Will Simon end up in prison? Don't miss the outcome of this story, The Best Revenge, the musical that will inspire everyone to pay good for evil. Go to mygiancarlo.com to purchase The Best Revenge on audio and video.
Hey. That's all, folks.
Time to go home. Ciao.